and welcome to an all new Melanie's Muses, where I muse about things in the entertainment world that are entertaining to me, and hopefully you guys stay along for the ride. Today, I'm back with one of my awesome Zoom chats, and today we have a new author with us. This is Jodi Gallegos. Hi, Jodi. Thank you for joining us. Jodi is Crown obsessed, which is awesome. So there's going to be lots of Crown talk today, as well as some questions we've had from the Muses. And anything else Jodi wants to share with us?
Anything's game.
Okay, well, why don't you tell the Muses a little bit about you and about your awesome High Crown Chronicle books?
Okay, so I'm an author from Colorado. I also am a full-time nurse, so I'm trying to balance both of those.
Crazy.
My novel is the High Crown Chronicles, was published in December. Queen of the Ruins came out digitally, September for High Crown. Queen of the Ruins, which is book 2, came out in December ebook and comes out in April in print copy.
Yep.
And then I'm still madly trying to perfect book 3, which is slated for summer.
Yay! Very exciting. We have lots of things that we need answers to, but we can't give spoilers. This is going to be a spoiler-free chat, so no spoilers.
No spoilers.
So you like crowns. I see you're wearing a crown. I wore a crown. Is that your favorite crown?
This is the one I usually wear when I'm writing.
Oh, you wear a crown when you're writing. I love that.
I do. Well, and sometimes I have to be like fully in one of the other kingdoms, and so I switch out.
I love that. So each kingdom sort of has its own crown.
Sort of, yeah.
That's so fun. See, that sounds like something I would do if I was an author. I'd have to be like, but I love that. I can picture you there in your different crowns.
Well, the risk of that, though, is that sometimes I forget that I have the crown on. And so, like, I'll run and answer the door. I'll jump in the car and go pick up my son from school.
I don't see that as a problem. It's just like, just own it. Jodi, you just need to own the crown. A bit like me with my cat ears normally. I always have cat ears on. Cat ears are like a part of life. But Amazon have started sending me crowns. So I'll be walking around with the crown and I'll answer the door. I answered the door the other day in the whole neon rainbow coloured hair cosplay. That gets you some great looks. Great looks. My daughter's like, do not go out like that. All right, I'm going to grab the Muser questions.
Okay.
And do you have any preference what kind of order we ask them in, or did you get a chance to prep? Or you doing
I
this?
did a little bit. I looked over the questions and tried to think of something very thoughtful to answer each.
Yeah, my Muses, they know the drill. They're just like, we know not to ask boring questions.
Yeah.
None of the normal. That's them. I gotta love it. Okay, and my tablet doesn't want to put up Melanie's Muses. Oh. So while I'm trying to find this and make this work, you are working on book 3.
Working on book 3.
How is book 3 going?
Well, I mean, with coronavirus and all the stress, like at work and just nationwide, it's been a struggle, but it's going. It's very dark. It opens. So I will tell us kind of how it's opening. At least right now, this is how it opens.
It's an exclusive. Woohoo!
Yes. The first 2 books kind of open with a little description, some action about things going on, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I think the very first sentence is something like, the stench of death permeates us before we even get around the corner.
Oh, I am so in for that. So in for that.
So we're just opening with the stench of death.
Now, do you find, because you're a nurse and you're working, do you find that your work sort of trickles in, like what's going on in your personal life and work and your state of mind trickles over into your books, or do you find that you very much set yourself, okay, I mean, book mind space and other mind space?
Yeah, I can pretty much keep them pretty separated.
Wow.
And I think writing is a good escape from all the stress of what's happening.
True. And readers feel the same way. That's why we read. I don't write, but we read.
Yeah.
That sort of fits in with Susan's question. She wanted to know what your writing process was like. So you said, you set the separate thing. She wants to know if do you have playlists of music and things like that?
Yeah, I want you to read that whole question though, because that's going to come up later.
Oh, what's your writing process like? Do you need silence, or do you write a playlist? Tea or coffee, or maybe vodka?
There you go. So
as I grab my
dog
goblet.
Oh, I love it. I I usually have music going really loud. I'm ADD, so any distractions like kids making noise, playing their video games and yelling, or anything happening outside distracts me. So my music's pretty loud. I keep a playlist for the book I'm working on at all times going. It just kind of keeps me in the headspace. I prefer tea, and Coca-Cola will fuel my writing process if I don't control myself.
Yeah. Coca-Cola's good. I think mine would be Red Bull and coffee. I'm definitely a coffee girl. But I find it very interesting. Susan as well always has music, a lot of music playing. Mm-hmm. When I'm reading, I tried listening to one of Susan's playlists with her book as I was reading it to sort of like get into the thing. I find the lyrics very, very distracting. You don't find the lyrics distracting at all when you're writing? Are you so absorbed that they just over your head?
Sometimes the lyrics, I choose the songs specifically because the lyric reminded me of like where I'm planning to go in the book. There's an aspect of High Crown Chronicles that I was surprised to find that there was actually a song titled the same thing. The 7 devils. So Nemei has 7 devils that he sends out to interfere with people who are like working against him. And there was the song by Florence and the Machine. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know because I'd picked 7 devils because there's 7 kingdoms, and I was just kind of 7 obsessed.
and 7 obviously is a big mystical number, so it all kind of ties together.
Yeah. So, and then I found that song and I was like, it was perfect. It says something about like, I'm here to burn your kingdom down. And I was like, yes.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So you're picking the songs because they sort of talk to you. I guess I can get it. I find it very distracting. I would find that really, really distracting. I'd probably end up on autopilot, like dictating the songs. I'd be back, go, what is this? Oh, these are song lyrics. Okay. Well, it's probably why I'm not an author.
Well, and I started out kind of mellow with the first book. It was a lot more kind of just mood music, classical stuff that kind of like a Gaelic kind of theme, Celtic, sound to me anyways. And then it's progressed to angrier music as the series has gone on.
As the series has got darker. Now, Muses might not know because obviously Melanie's Muses has done a lot with the High Crown Chronicles, but you also have a historical romance series that was published by a branch of CTP before that, but it is like completely different. It's as different as night and day.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Well, actually, so I started, my very first book I ever finished was the High Crown Chronicles.
Oh, okay. That's interesting because that's one of the questions on here.
Oh, yeah. So, and I spent like 8 years editing it and changing it and perfecting it.
Okay, writers, pay attention. 8 years before that first draft got sent in. 8 years, and it was worth it because it was epic.
Yeah, and then so I kind of set it aside. It wasn't really going anywhere, so I set it aside. And one of my National Novel Writing Month projects was A Shine That Defies the Dark, which is about bootleggers set in Louisiana in the 1930s, and then.
And I think actually that's available free right now, right? People can get that free on Amazon.
I think I just looked in it. I think it's $3.99 again, but I'll send the Muser a copy if they promise to review it.
There you go. If you promise to review it, message the page and I will forward it to Jodi and she can send it. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did Shine That Defies the Dark, which was kind of a standalone. And then I had so many people asking me about a next book, follow to that. I was like, well, I mean, that one just kind of ended there. There's not really much more to tell in Ophelia's story.
Right.
And I started playing around with it. And I was like, but what about the Moret gang? The rival gang? What was happening with them? So, I got to, I think I did that for the very next National Novel Writing Month.
Lots of good ideas that pop up.
Yeah.
During that national, that's in November for the Muses that aren't involved in the writing world. I think it's like Nano Roma or something they call it. And it's like all the writers go insane in November and try and write an epic amount of words. And some of the very talented ones like Jodi managed to basically knock out a whole novel, which is insane.
Yeah.
It was. I remember
words.
when that came in, and it was not long after November. So you must have.
Yeah, 50,000 words in a month. So it's good that it's in November though, because like my husband had sports, so it was like he calls November the most wonderful time of the year because it's like hockey, football, and not baseball, basketball.
Not good at sports ball, so I can't help you with that.
Yeah, so he doesn't care about National Novel Writing Month because he gets to watch sports all month long.
Oh, okay. So he likes to watch the sports. You get to do the writing. So
Yeah.
that kind of fits in. You have mood music, go with the flow. So whatever. Okay. Do you have a favorite character out of your different book series? I'm going to ask this one now. That was from Amanda Horton, just because we were talking about the various series that you have going on.
Yeah. So I would say Mallory's probably my favorite just because I've known her the longest. You know, the girl's been with me for years, like 10 years probably now. So she's probably the one that I feel like most emotional towards, I guess.
Sort of connected to.
Yeah. But, you know, Ophelia was the main character in Shine That Defies the Dark, and she was spunky, and I just loved what she would do to take care of her family. Deirdre, same thing. And she's like a healer. So as a nurse, she kind of speaks to me, but all my characters are kind of dark and vengeful. So they all have that in them.
I'm totally on board for dark and vengeful and strong women, lots of strong women characters. Even the books that are set in the 30s and whatever, very strong women characters, which is always nice as well for us. I like strong women characters.
I do too. My family always kids me that I'm a strong female character. I know, Mom, you're a strong female character.
Yeah. Own it. You are, definitely. So Amanda says, have you ever scrapped a book completely? And if so, did you restart it or save it for later? You said High Crowns has sort of been floating around for 8 years, going through various edit process. Was there a time where you ever scrapped that, or is there another book that you scrapped?
High Crown was, I put it aside and I'd pull it out and see if I could fix anything in it, you know, what I could do. So that got backburnered a lot, but never, like I never felt like it wasn't going to go somewhere. Like I always truly believed in High Crown Chronicles. I have a few earlier works that I thought I backburnered, and now I'm thinking, you know, I'm probably never going to come back to them. So that's unfortunate because at the time, you know, I felt just ridiculously strong that this one character's story had to be told.
Now, why do you feel now that that's not the case? Is it to do with the market, or do you just personally feel that your connection is just not there and it's just you're not feeling it right now?
I've lost my connection to that story. So
and it really does, as a reader, I can tell you can tell when authors are like churning for the sake of churning and they don't have the passion. And I think one of the reasons your books are so great is because you do have that passion, and we as readers can feel the passion on the page, and we definitely notice if you didn't have it.
Well, and it takes a lot to get through a novel. Like you have to be passionate about it and excited about it, because, and that's probably why my projects are all over the place, like a little bit of romance. I've got the High Crown Chronicles, which is just fantasy. I have a historical young adult kind of set, like I call it my hippie book because it's set in a hippie commune, like in the 80s.
See, that would be me. I'm 80s obsessed. I would love that. I hope you get back to that one at some point. But High Crown Chronicles first, because we kind of need to know what happens.
Oh yeah, that has to be wrapped up first. But so you got to be passionate about it to get it all the way through.
So talking of being passionate, Ashley Rolinski would like to know, given the opportunity, would you want to be a queen? And if so, what would some of your laws be?
I would absolutely want to be a queen. I wrote down some of my most important laws.
Oh, awesome. Go for it.
Because I had to think about it, like what's really important to me. So be nice to animals.
You laugh, but that is a huge thing in this house as well. We can watch things with people getting murdered left and right, and we have no problem with it as long as it's people, but something happens to an animal and let's say we're out, completely out.
Yep. I don't know how many times I've looked at my husband and says, nothing better happen to that dog.
Dang, we're the same in this house. Emily's just like, if anything's going to happen to that, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
So
second law would be nice to each other. Just be nice. Clean up after yourself. That's a big one for me.
I would not do so well on that one. I have an Emily that is, I'm one of those people that I'm a piler. I put piles of things. I'll have a pile of this and a pile of that and a pile of that. And I know where stuff is, but Em says clutter. It's clutter. It's clutter. It's like, and then she'll move it and then I can't find it.
I know. I'm the keeper of the piles too, but
keeper of the piles.
Yeah, my office is the universal collecting point. So
yeah.
Put the toilet seat down. That's a rule. That's gonna be a law. And I have a house full of boys, like entirely men folks. So that's a big one for me. Another law for me is going to be don't bend the pages in books, and the Royal Fund is actually going to provide free bookmarks for everybody. So
see, that is amazing. I'm a huge do not fold the books, do not break the spines. That's my other one. Do not my dad, when he was visiting one time, bless him, I mean, and he was an author too, but he'd read the book and he'd immediately she's like, you've read this 5 times. Like, no, don't do that. And I started getting the plastic wrap and putting it around the books, the sticky back stuff that you get. So because it's like, you're ruining my books. Like, don't do that. And one of the things the school has you writing books now. Did you know that?
No, we don't. Our kids don't even have books now.
Emily, I got into a huge fight with Emily's English teacher, probably when she was in 10th grade, maybe, because she was so upset. We've taught her such reverence for books, and she has such reverence and respect for books, like from age dot. Right. And they wanted her to annotate the book. So it's like, you have to buy this book and then write all the way through it. And I went in and I was absolutely losing the plot over it. And this teacher looked at me like I knew nothing. And Emily, it broke Emily's heart. She's like, well, this is a much better way to learn. It's like, I do not feel that.
No, I was always writing. I would always just take the extra time to write which page number, which paragraph, and make my notes on just note paper.
Em does the sticky note tab things that stick out.
Yeah, we didn't have sticky notes. I'm very old.
I'm with you on that. I was like, no, but Em is a big, like, her books have like 3,000. I don't know if you've seen the picture that the Game of Thrones book and somebody's like tagged every single death. Yeah. Emily has that for like her school notes all the way. So I was like, I don't know how you keep track of all of that. It's ridiculous. So if you could design your own crown, we'll stick with Ashley for a minute. What would it look like?
So I love a deep, rich blue color. So I would probably have sapphires, but then I also like the dark, right? I'm very kind of dark soul, dark nugget of a heart. So I'd probably have like a black, like obsidian and sapphire. Kind of thing.
I could switch the rubies out and then I would do that.
Yes. So I did actually kind of sort of design a crown for High Crown Chronicles for the culmination of all the books. And Kendra Saunders from Half Lucid Jewelry.
Yep.
I just told her what I wanted and she made me 2 different versions. So I'm going to show you one, okay?
Yeah, go for it.
So this is one that she made.
You can see the
I'm going to give this away at some point after the series.
Wow.
So this is going to be a giveaway. It has chips of every one of the kingdom's stones. So it has like a ruby from Devonshire. It has sapphire from Allendale. I think there's a sapphire there. Pearls from Carling. Some opal from Hadley.
Wow.
Amethyst from Claxton, and emeralds. I know there's emeralds on here from Galford.
Look at that.
So because all the kingdoms are kind of devastated and have crumbled.
Yeah.
So there's a chip of each one of each kingdom in there.
I love that, and that's so meaningful. Some lucky fan is going to end up with that.
Yes.
Possibly and then me, because I will be entering.
And then there's the black one as well, because she's kind of entering a dark period in her life. So this is the other one Kendra made me, and I'm totally keeping this one. And it's the same. So all the little chips. And
that one will not be being given away. That one is staying in your house forever.
Yeah, this one's staying in my house forever. Yep. But I will be giving away the other one. And it's like very rudimentary because, you know, all the like official royally fancy royal stuff has been kind of devastated and obliterated. So
yep,
very rudimentary made crown. So,
and I will put a link for anybody who is interested in possibly getting a crown like that. I will put a link to the Half Lucid jewelry store in the description for this video, so
please
you can go and check out and see.
She makes amazing crowns. They're so beautiful.
She does a lot. I think she does other pieces as well. I know she focuses a lot on the crowns, but I'll put the link up and people can go and have a nose and see what she's got.
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay, what other questions have we got on here? Oh, this is an interesting one from Jamie Cross. Have you ever gone on a literary pilgrimage? If so, whose sites did you see? And if you haven't been, what author would you like to do one to learn about?
So I haven't really done like a literary pilgrimage. I've traveled for travel's sake. And anytime there's like an opportunity to do something like literary or see some, you know, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. So I've gone to Trinity College to see the library, which was amazing. Went to see the Book of Kells because, you know, it's a book.
I get it. Yeah, I'm with you.
I've done like I've just gone to so many castles. You know, Scotland, Ireland. I went to the Tower of London, just to, you know, just see all those things and just to be in castles and see what they feel like and, you know, what the layout actually is. And I have looked out over the Wye and the road from Oedipus in Greece. So, I mean, it was totally nerdy, and my son was with me, and he didn't get it, but I'm like, look over there, look over the mountain.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
What about, is there an author, place or spot that you'd like to go that you haven't had the chance to visit yet?
Not really. The one really nerdy thing we did was we went to Elephant House in Scotland. So, and I wrote my name on the bathroom wall.
Like you do.
Like you done. Right. You don't do that in the US, but at Elephant House.
There are places in the US. We have a record store not far from us that is notoriously well known for stars going and writing their names and that on the wall. Really? I don't think you're supposed to just like wander in and write your names on the wall. I'll have to check with Greg. We have the House of Guitars, and lots of famous musicians and that have been photographed there. David Bowie got arrested there and then vowed never to come back to Rochester. So like you do.
Well, in Western Colorado, having your name on the bathroom wall is not good.
No, yeah, I think there are lots of things where people associate names on bathroom walls with a slightly different clientele over here.
Right.
But you said you've been to a lot of castles. Ashley actually asked, which real royal family do you find the most interesting and why? She said it can be from any time period.
So from a young age, I was kind of softcore Diana obsessed. Like my dad got me up at 2:00 in the morning to watch the wedding.
I met her.
Did you?
Yeah, she's the fun fact, before I came over here, I was actually a pediatric nurse, and I was working with a little boy who spent a lot of time in Great Ormond Street Hospital, and I was on a transfer run with him at Great Ormond Street Hospital when she came to visit, and his mother had met her and they corresponded quite a lot because the little boy had a lot of problems. I'm not going to say his name because I don't have her permission to share any of it, but let me just say they made like national papers after they actually reached out to her when she passed because they'd had so much communication. She was the nicest, humblest person. Everything you see sort of on the TV and you're like, no one is that nice. She is that nice.
I believe it.
Was that nice. She was the sweetest person.
And then I actually, when we were in Scotland last time, we were at, where were we even? I don't even know. In Edinburgh. One of them castles in Edinburgh.
Yeah, castles everywhere. England, castles everywhere. Scotland, everywhere. You know, can't move without seeing a castle.
We were coming out and they were kind of moving people. We were like, what's going on? Oh, well, the Princess Royal's coming right now. You can go over there and watch her. And I was like, what? And
that's awesome.
My kids are like, what's going on? I was like, no, you don't understand. Real royalty is coming.
Actual royalty? They have real royals over here.
Yeah.
I'm always disappointed that they don't wear crowns everywhere. You know, if I would wear a crown everywhere. I'd be like, it would leave the house with that crown.
And she just got out of the car like she didn't even see us. And I was like, oh, come on. We're from America.
Yeah, they don't care.
Don't care.
Yeah. Good, you're here. Give us your tourist money. That's how the rolls for you.
Yeah, hit the shop. Make sure you hit the shop on your way out.
Make sure you hit the shop on the way out.
And then also the Romanovs. I mean, there's that whole just intriguing, mysterious.
Yes, I've always had a soft spot for those. Susan Harris's vampire book actually delves in a lot to Romanov history, which is quite.
And some of Sherry Ficklin's books too.
Yeah, Sherry Ficklin. You know, they had the TV show with not with Sherry Ficklin, based the new Hulu show that came out, The Great.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Don't bother, it's rubbish. It's like, go read Sherry's Queen books instead. I messaged Sherry, I was like, this show is terrible. It's like, they should have just got your books and adapted them. They are so superior. I just couldn't even get through it. I'm like, no.
Oh, that stinks.
It is, but Sherry Ficklin's books are awesome if you want something about the history and all of that. The Queen books, check those out. And the series is complete, and it's really clever because it loops around in a circle.
Yeah.
Like you start at one point, and actually you can pretty much start at any point, and then it just like loops back around. Very clever. Yeah. I love historical history. Anything that's sort of based on real things but isn't real. I'm obsessed with Tudor history. That's my little period in time. Henry VIII, Anne Boleyn, all of that stuff.
I love all that. I used to actually, I'm going to trade out here too.
Trade your crown out. I would trade my crown out. Oh, see, I have one similar to that. Let me grab mine. I can't trade mine though, because mine's like in the hair. In the hair, probably never coming out the hair again at this point. It's like, that's really, but I think I have one that's similar to that. I have this one. I think this might be the one you sent me.
It's pretty similar. Yeah.
I've got so many at this point that isn't that bad? I've got so many crowns, I don't know. Yeah. But this is my most unusual one that I haven't worn yet.
Oh, wow.
It weighs like 100. Yeah. And I can't decide. I feel like that's probably supposed to sit down on your forehead, but there is zero ways to get that fixed on there. I've tried. I will have to figure something out at some point. And then I have this one as well.
I like it. Very cute.
One thing I learned, round crowns, whenever you watch something on history, I'm just going to put this down for a sec. I'll edit that bit out. When you see people getting crowned on TV shows and everything, and you look at crowns, you go, well, they could have got a better fitting crown. Putting a round crown on is hard. They don't fit properly.
And they don't
round crowns don't fit.
You have to be very, keep your head, move very slowly and as a entire unit with your body.
So you've mastered it. Me, I have 1,000 pins. This one I love because it's a half. And it actually came with these most amazing clips that I've never seen before with the tiara. I'm going to take a picture when I put it up on Amazon. The grip in. They are the best things ever. So this thing is there, but I haven't.
Is it like that?
No, I do have one with combs. This one looks just like the ones with the two little circles, but the actual clips you use to put it on are amazing. They're sort of like bobby pins, but not quite, and they're like half circles.
I'm gonna have to see a picture.
I will send you a picture. When we go to Zoom, I'll send you a picture of these when I get this out. I don't know if they have them. I've never seen them on their own. I've only seen them this came in a box, a black box. I was like, well, that's fitting, and it had this little. Usually, I had bobby pins thrown in there, and there were these little clips. I'm like, oh, love the little clips.
Cool.
All right, you ready for another question?
Yes.
What do we got on here? Oh. How far in advance do you know when or how a character is going to die? And I'm going to add to that because I want to know, do characters ever surprise you? Do you suddenly find out oh my God, this character's going to die and I didn't know that was going to happen?
Yes. Yes. So first of all, I wholeheartedly apologize for everybody I've already killed and everybody I'm about to kill.
Those still yet to die.
And those who are still to perish. I don't ever set out to kill anybody there's the bad guys I set out to kill. Obviously Rourke I set out to kill. He was a planned assassin. I usually find out, usually like I do my best thinking when I'm in the shower. And then
I get that. I plot whole things in the shower, like
yeah.
dogs and things, get it.
Yeah. And then there's just that moment where I'm like, oh, that person has to die.
Because that's how the story has to move forward.
I just realize it, and I'm very sad and I'm very sorry. But I realize that that's sort of where the story is going and that has to happen.
So you're not one of these, I kill them and then I laugh as all my readers cry.
No, I cry every time I reread like some of those scenes.
Because I know for a fact both Sherry and Susan do. They sit and laugh at the tears of their
Sherry
readers.
cackles with every death, I'm sure.
Yeah. 100%. I'd say I know from working as she's not sorry. Susan's not sorry either. It's like neither of them are sorry. So it's nice to hear an author that is sorry. They don't deliberately just want to kill off the characters and break our hearts.
There's a couple I still can't read it without getting misty-eyed because it saddens me that I had to kill them. And there's one in High Crown Chronicles that I literally didn't know they were going to die until we turn around and see the blade come through the chest. And I was as surprised. I was like, oh my God, that just happened.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. I think the fact that you write that way, there's another author, like Laurel K. Hamilton. I know that she's had scenes like that, and she's gone back and tried to rewrite it and tried to stop this happening. And she said, no matter what happens, it always comes back around to this. And some characters are just destined to die no matter what you do.
Yeah, and you don't even know. It's this weird thing, I used to hear about, and I thought it was absolute nonsense.
And you're thinking, what are these authors? Oh, they must think that, no one buys that.
Tell me what's going to happen, and it's like, what? Like, I'm running this show, and then it turns out I'm not running this show at all. I'm just putting their words on the paper.
You're just a puppet at the end of their street.
Just the monkey behind the computer.
So what else? Let me see if I can get to these questions because I know we're going through a bunch. What were some of your favorite authors or favorite books growing up? I need that crown.
This is my Devonshire crown.
I mean, come on.
I mean, the kingdom's fallen. It might as well go to you.
Seriously?
Yeah, sure. Do you want it?
Yes. Oh, you completely do not have to do that. But if you're offering, I'm 100% going for that. I love it. My husband's going to be like, seriously? Another crown? Yes, I don't have. I love that. I have a cameo that will match that.
Oh, well, then you should have one.
I've completely lost track because I'm
going to hook you up. I'm going to hook you up. Okay, where were we? Sorry.
Right. Favorite authors? Do you have any favorite authors? And what were your favorite books when you were growing up? What did you like to read? Or did you not like to read? I know some people didn't like to read growing up.
So my current favorite authors, I will read anything by Leigh Bardugo. I just love her. Sherry Ficklin and I actually drove to Denver in one day and back in the middle of a winter storm warning just to see Leigh Bardugo.
I get it, but oh my goodness, I know Colorado where it's been like Rochester, it can be horrendous.
Yeah, and we have to go over the passes, over the mountains to get to Denver. So yeah, we were just like, let's go. We ride at dawn, bitches. And we headed out the door.
Love it.
So, and then I love Courtney Summers. Have you read any of her stuff? Oh, it's so
what kind of. What did she
write? Sadie is one of them. Her book, The Project, comes out this month, I think, or next month. She's just raw and just gritty, and like Sadie was just this crazy emotional mental roller coaster.
And what genre are they?
It's contemporary, kind of like a thriller. Yeah, or young adult.
For the muses that are watching, I will put a link in the description for the video to the first books in each of the series that Jodi is talking about. So if you guys want to go and check them out, I would definitely say do that.
Yeah.
And just a disclaimer, they will be Amazon associate links. You guys know the drill by now, but I have to tell you, so they're Amazon associate links. So if you click them, I might get some money. Even more reason to click them. I would say to fund my crown addiction, but Amazon seems to be pretty good at that. And now Jodi's adding to it.
And then Kristen Hanna too. Don't forget her.
Oh, I don't know her either.
Oh my gosh, every book I end up sobbing.
Oh, that's a hard pass for me then. I don't do the crying books.
Oh my god,
I always say to Sherry, one of the first books I read from Sherry was Losing Logan, and I had to read it to give it the rating for the Clean Team Publishing stuff. And like I said, how about, is this going to make me cry? I don't do the cry books. Is this going to make me cry? I need to know in advance. And Sherry was just dying laughing. She's like, just read it. And it did. It wasn't too bad. That wasn't a bad one. But yeah, yeah, I'm not a big fan of crying books, but.
Oh yeah. Well, then don't read Kristen Hanna.
Okay, won't read her. And what about books growing up? Were you a reader as a child, or?
I was a voracious reader, and I had very little parental control over, like, my mom didn't care what I read.
Nope.
Like, I think I had a grandmother who fed my habit. Like, when I was with my grandma, we would go to the store like almost every day or every other day, and she'd buy me a book or two.
Love it.
And she actually had one of the bedrooms had just wall-to-wall bookshelves, and she was a fan of those little tiny Harlequin romances. And she just had them everywhere. So yeah, so that's kind of, I think, where I kind of got and I was an only child for a long time. My brother wasn't born until I was 7. So and it was the 70s, and so I had a lot of downtime just to read and be alone. But I started, like, I remember reading the Sweet Valley High.
Yep, I read them.
Yep. And then I remember having these weird like Bigfoot sighting, like with the pictures, and UFO books and stuff like that.
Love it.
And then I graduated to my mom's Flowers in the Attic books.
They were amazing. Virginia Andrews. Oh, those books back in the day, they were some head-wrecking books. The Flowers in the Attic series, the Heaven series.
Yep.
Oh.
For the longest time, I just consumed every one of those. And then I found Stephen King, and I just remember when I found Cujo and Christine. It was amazing.
Yep. I'm totally there with you. It's like, okay, you just have my bookshelf pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm totally there. 100% there for that.
And then I loved the Philippa Gregory, the Cousins series, the Red Queen, White Princess, and Lady of the Waters. I love those.
I haven't read those. That sort of got to the time where I'm pretty consumed with books that I get sent for review. I have so many that I read, very little that I go out and pick up. But I get amazing books sent to me for review, so I'm not complaining at all by any means. But it does limit. It has changed over the last few years, like my spectrum, where my reading. Like, there's been few mainstream that I tend to pick up now, apart from the ones that the publishers send me. So they get past. All right, I think we've got through most of them. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any of the big questions.
I gotta do a crown change.
You're gonna do a crown change. I love that. Don't you design your own crown? Do you be queen? I think. Oh, what is your go-to snack while writing? That was from Gladys. I didn't ask that one. Gladys Gonzalez Atwell.
I don't really have one. It depends on my mood. Like, sometimes I might have salty snacks. Sometimes I might have some M&Ms or something.
As long as you've got Coke, you're good.
As long as I got Coca-Cola or iced tea, I'm good. There's the other one from Susan too. Yeah,
I was just going to say, if you could do a crossover with any author, who would it be and why?
So it would be Susan Harris because of her last question, because her process seems to involve vodka, and I'm so down for that. I'm a huge fan. I mean, Susan Harris, I've read all of her stuff right from Dot. Her first book that I ever read, Shattered Memories, devastated me. It's still the one I shove at people and go, here, read this, it will break you. Yeah. And
then she just wrote another book that broke me even more. And I say these books are the reason that the timeout in the freezer was invented. So what kind of book do you guys write, do you think?
I don't know. Like, it would have to be some kind of crazy crossover, right? Because I'll write anything. I don't even care. If I'm passionate about it, I'll write it.
Well, she does. A lot of hers have romance aspects. And you did mention the Romanov. She did quite a lot of history stuff with that. So maybe she could do a different history element, and you two could. I'd be in. I'd be totally in. Or like what she could do.
Yeah. Paranormal, royal. historical
crossover you could take. Now, in her minor spoiler coming out, but not really, if you read the back of the books, it's pretty obvious. One of the taglines says it. In the Ever Chase series, there is some time travel that happens. So we could have some of them come back and help out. I mean, probably not. I mean, I'd love to see them go back and do like deal with everything in the High Crown Chronicles, because some of them can kick some serious behind.
Yeah.
But they're involved in like crime solving. So they could actually go to like your Rum Runners series and be involved in, you know, throwing a paranormal element that none of you all thought, oh, I bet I could think of one. There you go. I've done your crossover for you. We'll expect to see that next year.
Well, and that would be fun. Like, just have like, oh, wait.
A little short story, one of these little.
Yeah, like a little holiday something. Here's a little Easter egg, though. So High Crown Chronicles and, gosh, was it Queen of the Ruins too? Are actually mentioned in an adult like crime thriller in 2 different crime thriller books. Oh no, High Crown Chronicles and The Light at Finnegan's End. So a friend of mine writes some like adult, it's like a, gosh, he's like a detective kind of. It's like a former mafia heavy who's now like his own like private detective. And so it's like this whole crime thriller series. And so in
you can
one
name
book,
drop, just drop the name.
Oh yeah, James Weaver, the Jake Caldwell series. So
because we all need to go and find this now. So you're all cryptic clues. Yeah. Drop the name.
So he has this whole series, Poor Boy Road, Aries Road, Asylum Road. And in one of them, he mentions the character's wife is reading The Light at Finnegan's End. And then in the other, he like kind of goes in to rough this guy up and get some information. And the guy's sitting at a desk reading the High Crown Chronicles.
See, I love that. Easter eggs are the best. And I think that's one of the most fun things I found with working a lot with, I'd say indie authors, but it's like more small press publishing rather than, even though you kind of all fit under the thing. Those little Easter eggs, and because the authors know each other and they talk, and there's half of the things I say to Susan end up in the book. Like, Ruby knows, oh my goodness, I said that.
Yeah.
Because she thinks I'm funny. And
well,
Greg's funny.
You are funny, though.
Well, there's literally a line from Letterkenny, and I don't even like that show, but it says about pitter patter. She's got that in one of the books. I was ready. I literally spat my drink out. I was like, oh my God, that's great.
Well, and I went and I named one of the characters in Queen of the Ruins. So Weaver.
Love it.
Yeah. So Weaver is actually James Weaver, who's my friend.
Brilliant.
Who writes the book. So
I love that. I'm all about the Easter eggs.
So I'll tell you another one then.
Yeah.
There's another Easter egg in A Shine That Defies the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where they're sitting around drinking moonshine, and they're telling, Remy and his brothers are telling a story about what was it? It involved a bicycle and an amorous goat, I think was how I put it in the book. But it's based on a true story about my husband and my brother, and they went golfing, and there was another little kid with them. So it was actually a golf cart and an amorous goat is the true story. And this goat.
The brain goes into very strange places with that imagery.
Yeah, there was just this goat, like very amorous goat, and my brother was making noises like, and so this goat followed them over the whole golf course.
That's hilarious.
And the people they were playing with was a man and his like 10-year-old kid, and the kid was just mortified.
I love it. Absolutely. And remember, you guys, Jodi said, if you want to read A Shine That Defies the Dark and you're prepared to leave a review for it, drop me a line, message me on the page, shoot me an email, and I will get you guys in touch and get you the copy of the book. But you have to leave a review. And you know me, I will hunt you down if you don't, and that will be it. You'll get nothing else. Take the book, you leave a review. That's how it works. Well, and is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up? I feel like I've absconded like tons of your time. Huge thank you for spending all the time with us this morning.
It's my day off. Like I've got nothing better to do. Oh, I mean, I got a book to write, but
well, yeah. Other than that pesky book writing stuff that needs to be done, nothing going on.
right,
No
nothing.
Well, I'm going to do the little wrap up, and I don't have Greg here to irritate me, which is really, really nice. So huge thank you to Jodi Gallegos for joining us. If you enjoyed the video, please do all the fun YouTube things, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you leave me a comment. If you have any questions that Jodi didn't answer, I will be sure to pass them on. I'm sure she'll be checking back on the video. Absolutely. If you love this kind of thing, if you like the setup, let us know that too. I will put all of Jodi's links and various other links that we've talked about in the description for the video. So you can go and stalk her, and I know she will appreciate it. She's a big fan of having stalkers. Then join me on Facebook Live every Sunday with my husband, Greg. We have giveaways. We've had giveaways for Jodi before. It's been fabulous. And at some point, I'll be sporting the amazing new crown that Jodi is going to send me because I'm so spoiled. Check out my website, melaniesmuses.com. You'll find stuff on there about Jodi's books and things because she's been on the website a bunch of times. And there's other stuff going on. There's giveaways, reviews. The blog will be up there. You name it, it's up there, melaniesmuses.com. And of course, click that subscribe button and a little notification bell so you will hear next time I'm up here. Who knows what I'll be talking about? It could be Milk on Monday, Forgotten Feature Friday, another Zoom chat with a fantastic author, or anything else that I want to talk about at the time. Okay, we'll see you soon. Bye. What crown would you like to be wearing for the little screenshot that I'm going to do? Because
let's do
the behind the scene things. And then I'm going to have you smile and point up at your crown because it's going to be all about the crowns. Perfect. All the little things like, okay, so this is what Melanie does it as.
I have a little one too.
Oh, that's pretty too.
A friend of mine gave me this one.
That's very pretty. And I know that's the bit that Greg called. He goes, bye.
Bye.
I do it in all my videos.
So
hey,
I'll send you a link too to my Spotify playlist. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. I will put that in there because we have Melanie's Muses has Spotify list that all the Muses create.
Okay, yeah, I have a playlist for all the books. So
perfect.
Oh, and I forgot to mention that my son did the main song for the whole series.
I thought he had, and he didn't say anything. I was like, oh my God, if I'm mixing my authors up, I don't want to have to edit that out. But you know what? We'll put this little bit in at the end. Okay. I do like little outtakes, and I can put that in at the end, and then I can put the link down in the comments to that.
Yeah. I gave him like a little like brief rundown of some things that are going to happen and like some themes and stuff. And I said, just make it dark and angry, and he came through. He
did. It's brilliant. But then I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, we've got the wrong author. That's going to be really embarrassing because it happens. I've done it before. It won't be the first time. I'm sure it won't be the last. Did it tell you?
It did not.
Okay. Mine says recording. So just so you know, everything you say from now on is on you unless you want me to delete stuff. I can delete it. They're amazing. I feel very, very blessed that I've met them.
And sometimes I tune in on Sundays and I just like kind of have it going while I'm doing other things. So I'm like watching the comments. So I read a little bit of what they're saying, and so
they're crazy. Our lives are crazy.
I'm a Muser stalker.
I love it. I love that. Well, feel free to just, if you just say hi, you can say hi so that we know that you're there, and then I can give shout outs for all your stuff.
Okay.
I always do that. If I see an author pop in, I always like to give them a shout out. Well, thank you, Jodi. I really appreciate it. You are my first author Zoom interview, and you are my practice. I mean, I've done Zooms with Susan when we're talking about stuff, but not so much like the author interviews. But I might have one coming up with Janine Frost, which I'm super nervous about. Maybe Jodi will practice with me.
Yeah, I know, it was fun. It was good for me too, because.
And I know a couple of the Muses have one. Jennifer Billings has one, I believe, that she won from you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a stalker. I stalk everything.
I know. Well, and some of them just keep coming around, like Ashley and Jennifer, and it's like, oh, I see you guys all the time.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. The Muser fandom might be small, but it is mighty. If you can hook a Muser, you have a fan for life. They are
Yeah.
all up in everything. Like my Muser family, I love them to pieces. It's like I'm constantly amazed that they come out every single week to see all the stuff that I'm doing.
Yeah, they're just so supportive and like enthusiastic, and they're amazing.
And they are very giving. So much so that so much so that we've actually started a thing we do proud Muser moments, and they're getting to nominate each other for outstanding things they do, and then we send them a prize, because I've never met a fandom community, and I've been in the fandom world a lot, that are so generous with each other. Like if somebody wins something and they've already got it, they immediately message it, no, send that to so-and-so, really wanted to win it, send it to them.
Oh, that's good.
Never known a group of fans like that.
I'm not terribly outgoing normally.
See, I bring out, Sis said the same thing. She's like, you bring out, I think it's because I'm very animated and I love it. Like I'm very into the whole chatting process and chatting live. And as a fan, as a reader fan, getting to talk with you and hear you talk about your books, it means a lot to us as fans. And I don't think authors always appreciate how much that means, because otherwise it's just me and I'm sitting here and no, fans love that. We love that. I really appreciate you taking the time, because I know my Muses all up about that.
Well, and I still like to watch when authors do interviews and stuff. Like, I still fangirl it, and it's weird for me to think that people want to hear anything I have to say about, because I'm still trying to get that I'm an author. I'm still just the weird girl behind the computer.
No,